Hello and a warm welcome to the Transport and Climate Change Week of 2022. We're very much looking forward to a week full of exciting and informative events. For the past 5 years, the Transport and Climate Change Week has been implemented on behalf of the German Federal Ministry for the Environment. So let me first give the floor to Mr. Kühn, Parliamentary State Secretary of the German Federal Ministry for the Environment.
Dear participants, dear colleagues, I'm pleased to welcome you to the 5th Transport and Climate Change Week. Over the course of the Transport and Climate Change Week in the past 4 years, the event has established itself as a platform for dialogue and exchange. Cooperation and exchange is essential. Only together can we solve the climate issue to become more sustainable overall. The individual stakeholders are as important as local communities, cities, and the federal states. Only by working together can we protect the environment, stop climate change, and build a better future for all of us. The transformation of the transport sector has a key role to play in achieving international climate targets and reducing our overall ecological footprint. The transport sector already accounts for a quarter of global energy-related greenhouse gases. It's also a source of noise pollution and pollutant emissions such as NOx. We have already implemented numerous policy measures to foster sustainable mobility. For example, the promotion of electric mobility and the financial support of communities to buy electric buses for the local public transport system. We are also constantly working on reducing noise pollution and support communities to establish more bike lanes, more sidewalks, and think about what else is needed for a transformation to happen. At the same time, we support our international partners in the transport sector through the International Climate Initiative. During the pandemic, the various restrictions led in many parts of our society to rethinking priorities and to reflect on the future. The local environment came much more in our focus. For many people, it was essential that despite the lockdown, they still had the opportunity to spend the lockdown in an intact national environment. Many of us became aware that cities and communities with less cars, less pollution and less noise due to the lockdown were actually quite a relief. It showed us, for example, that more bike lanes in fact lead more people using their bikes as a means of transport. The challenge is now to transfer these in a post-pandemic world and society. In Germany and around the world, economic stimulus programs were launched during the pandemic to fight the negative impacts on the economy. Some of these programs were also the starting signal for a sustainable, climate-friendly economy and society. We should now use this window of opportunity to transform the transport sector. We see the Transport and the Climate Change Week as an ideal opportunity to share experiences, best practice, and knowledge from all over the world and generate new cooperation and new ideas to achieving sustainable mobility. I wish you lively discussions, new impulse for your cooperation with your local partners and a good exchange of ideas. Let us stay in a global dialogue.
Thank you, Mr. Kühn, for your welcome address. I'm now handing over the baton to Mr. Krischer, Parliamentary State Secretary at the German Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action. This ministry is the new funder of the International Climate Initiative and this event, and is also the ministry that will support us in the future.
Participants, minister representatives, colleagues, welcome to the 5th Transport and Climate Change Week. Building on the success from the last year, this year's Transport and Climate Change Week will be once again held as a hybrid conference as we are still going through the global pandemic. Nevertheless, the TCCW provides an excellent opportunity, and it's a well-established platform to exchange and jointly work on the providing solutions for transforming the transport sector. In 40% of countries worldwide, transport is the sector with the highest energy consumption, and in most of the remaining countries, it is the second largest. Decarbonizing the transport sector is therefore crucial for achieving international climate targets. With recent events, we are facing a double urgency in the face of Russia's attack on Ukraine. On the one hand, there's a climate crisis. On the other hand, Russia's invasion shows how important it is to exit from fossil fuels and consistently press ahead with the expansion of renewables. Germany is currently working quickly to reduce its dependence on Russia's energy, especially coal and oil. Just 4 weeks ago, the federal cabinet adopted a so-called Easter package. It is the largest energy policy revision for decades, and it is creating the conditions for boosting Germany's energy security and energy sovereignty. At the same time, it lays the foundations for Germany to become climate neutral. Germany has pledged to become climate neutral by 2045. The Climate Change Act is at the core of Germany climate policy. Most importantly, it fixes sector targets for the necessary emission reductions and defined an action mechanism to bring all sectors on track. The new coalition treaty includes important measures and decisions and how to reach these targets in the transport sector. Especially electric mobility is an important element of transforming the transport sector and making it fit for the future. Electrifying transport by far holds the largest potential to both reducing energy demand and increasing the use of renewable and local energy sources. We have, for example, set a goal of 50 million fully electric passenger cars in Germany by 2030, which will support a massive rollout of charging infrastructure. We will believe that international collaboration is of a major importance here because vehicle markets have become ever more global, which is equally true for buses and trucks. Germany is also supporting the EU Fit for 55 target of zero CO2 from 2035 for new vehicle sales. Of course, decarbonizing sectors with electrification is limited is just as important. Aviation and shipping, for example, are challenges which also be addressed by supporting synthetic fuels based on green hydrogen. I am convinced that we need multilateral actions to achieve the Paris Agreement. Therefore, I think we need to enhance partnerships between governments to discuss the decarbonization challenge. Sharing experience and mutual learning has become more important than ever, and I and my colleagues are curious to learn from your projects and your countries. Following the national elections, the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Protection is now the lead ministry for the climate initiative. However, the Federal Ministry for Environment, Nature Conservation and Nuclear Safety and Consumer Protection, as well as the Federal Foreign Office, will accompany existing the new IKI projects in their respective areas of responsibility. The IKI continues to be an instrument of international climate cooperation that now serves several ministries. I wish you lively and fruitful discussions and new impulses for your work.
Thank you, Mr. Krischer, and I'm absolutely certain that there will be countless new impulses, because our team has been busy over the past couple of months to organize a full program for you. With 3 regional and 1 global conference day, we are traveling the world to gather the most important and interesting inputs, lessons learned and best practices from our partner countries. Further, we gathered other implementing organizations to start the week off with various side events on Monday. Some of those side events are organized by our partners like the Asian Development Bank, UNFCCC, REN21, SLOCAT, UIC, C40, ICCT, ITDP, WRI, the TUMI Initiative, the Power2X Hub and Climate Analytics, to name just a few. So let's now zoom into the different regions to see what they got in store for you.
We are excited to host the first dedicated Africa Day at the Transport and Climate Change Week 2022. We welcome you to join us as we explore, discuss, and provide potential solutions for sustainable mobility in the continent. We will hear from entrepreneurs, decision makers, and technical experts from the continent and beyond. Welcome.
Les discussions porteront sur la mobilité active, la mobilité électrique, les transports en commun et la numérisation des transports en Afrique. Nous sommes particulièrement heureux d'accueillir le panel de haut niveau sur les politiques de transport pour une croissance durable avec les ministres des Transports et les décideurs au niveau des gouvernements nationaux et locaux en Afrique.
Welcome from Asia. We've prepared several interesting topics for you this week, including country updates from China, Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. An inspirational talk and a debate on decarbonizing transport in Asia, workshops and panel discussions on active transport, e-mobility, digitalization, taxation policies, climate change risk assessments, developing baselines and promoting gender equality, pitches for new reports, and the closing event for transfer in Asia. We look forward to seeing you online or in person in Hanoi.
Bienvenidos al Día de Latinoamérica. Conversemos sobre las lecciones aprendidas y desafíos alcanzando la meta climática con participación y un liderazgo comprometido desde el sector transporte. Hemos preparado un espacio donde nos podamos volver a reunir en persona.
Topla dobrodošlica na konferenciju Jugoistočne Evrope. Razmijenit ćemo iskustva iz
Šiburija,
Bosne i Hercegovine,
Kosova,
Crne Gore,
Republika Severna Makedonija,
Srbije,
Turkije o integrisanom planiranju energije, transporta i klimatskih promjena. Također ćemo čuti stečena znanja iz drugih dijelova Evrope poput Njemačke, Slovenije, Gruzije, Italije i Poljske. Pridružite nam se u ovom uzbudljivom iskustvu planiranja, transporta i klime. Dobrodošli!
So as you can see, our regional hubs are very excited to welcome you all throughout the week. But Daniel, what can we expect for the Global Conference Day on Thursday?
On Thursday, we will gather participants in Berlin and connect globally. We will have one session on decarbonizing freight, a topic that is often not in the spotlight, but responsible for about half of the carbon emissions in the sector. And another session, organized by the Mobilize Your City Partnership, is discussing how to shape net zero cities in Africa, Asia and Latin America. Then there are 2 sessions that really connect the dots. Firstly, in the morning, we will discuss with Agora Verkehrswende how multilateralism can help trigger climate action in transport, with guests from Germany, Europe, India and Indonesia. And secondly, in the afternoon, we invite rapporteurs from all the 4 conference hubs into a correspondence club, discussing with us across continents on impulses for greening transport. I'm looking forward for exciting speakers and enthusiastic participants and to meet them physically and online.
I'm sure we are all very excited. So with these impressions, we say goodbye for now, but we will be back and meet you again on Thursday in Berlin. Enjoy the week and the program.